All right, bestie, I get it. The debt journey is not happening fast enough, and you're being as frugal as you possibly could be, right? You are doing all of the right things. You are packing your lunch. You've cut your grocery bill down. You have definitely gone to the thrift store, yard sales, all of the things. And you are no longer spending ridiculous amounts of money on clothes, shoes, perfumes, makeup. And you are still finding that you don't have the money to pay off your debt. So let's get into that. So frugality is only half of the equation. It is only half. And there are many reasons why frugality is important, but frugality is not going to bring you the success that you are looking for alone. It is not just the only factor. And we're going to go over the three things that are making you not become debt free. You are not paying off your debt the way you wanted to, right? And the truth is that you are part of one of these three things. Number one, your income's not consistent. It is not consistent enough. You are not bringing in a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly check that is going to cover the things in life. And I'm talking your three walls, your cot, your internet, your phone, your car insurance, and your fuel, or a bus pass, or however you get around. You are not making consistent money. It's not happening. It's not coming in fast enough for you to pay all of the things that you need to pay. And we live in an expensive world. This world is so expensive that most of us, like myself, if I lost my manufactured home, I could not afford to go out and actually rent an apartment. It is not in my income. It's not in my income. And it doesn't help that I'm monthly paying on these debts. I'm monthly paying on some personal debts. I am monthly paying on credit cards. And honestly, I had a very high car payment not only a month and a half ago. I was paying $700 a month for a 2020 Kia Sportage, and I used it for work. It was a work-related vehicle. I drive for a living. I do DoorDash. I do Uber Eats. I do Spark. I do a lot of different food delivery apps. I have also been doing Uber and Lyft for the last few years. As I realize that sometimes I get messages from people specifically about budgeting. Amanda, it's not happening, and I'm falling behind again on my bills, and now I have to take from that debt envelope that I've worked so hard on. And it's because the income's not consistent. You are not consistently getting a paycheck. You are not consistently getting SSI. You are not consistently getting SSI disability. And maybe those things you have to work on. You have to work on it. Somebody can say all they want, this job's inconsistent. It can be, yes. Sitting in this car every day, making money, it's not always consistent, but if I do it 6-7 days a week, I can make it happen enough to cover those things. And even though I may be on a low income, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not taking my funds to take care of my husband, my kids, or my pets. As a matter of fact, all of these people in my household and animals have been in my household for years. Like, I didn't just start feeding Violet yesterday. She's 11, okay? She's 11. 11 a week. Like, come on. Like, I didn't just have kids yesterday. I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old. And the last time I checked, 10 to 13 years of buying things, is essential when you have kids, right? So if you're not getting an income that is consistent enough, it's not going to work. No matter how frugal you are, no matter how many times you watch how much water you use or the electricity you use, or how many times you turn on your heater or your AC, no matter how much you save on your groceries, if you're not getting an income every single month that is somewhat consistent, frugality won't matter. Doesn't matter. I give you an A+ for effort, but it's not enough. Just not enough. Number 2, I see this so many times. So many times. It makes me crazy. Like literally, I watch people on YouTube all the time, you guys, do this. I'll give an example before we get into it. We'll name this person Susie. Susie went to the grocery store. She had a certain amount of money to spend each week. And Susie decided, I'm going to start meal prepping, and I'm going to cut out the DoorDash, the Uber Eats, the Grubhub. I am not going to be doing any food delivery. And I let every friend in the office know, hey, during lunch, I'm bringing my own food. I'm bringing my own food because it's a part of my budget now, and I really want to use that to my advantage, and I don't want to spend any more money than I have to because I want to get out of debt in 2025. And then Susie goes to work. She's eating her meal that she got at work, and her coworker comes up to her and says, hey, Susie, like, I know we talked about the meal planning thing, but like, I kind of want to have lunch together. Do you kind of want to like go somewhere? Or maybe we can get DoorDash delivered so we don't have to go anywhere, and it'll be here when, lunchtime hits and we can take lunch together. And, or we can go to that taco place. And even though that taco place serves tacos for like $2 to $3, you're going to eat 4 of them, and I'm going to have 4, and maybe you pay this time and I will pay the next time. That frugality, her bringing her lunch, the frugal thing she was trying to do is no longer an element of frugality if she goes out to eat with that coworker. If they go to dine out or they order out, it took away from what she was actually trying to do to save that money. So if you are frugal in one way, and then you do something else that is not frugal, and it could be totally different. Maybe you saved a bunch of money on groceries, but then you went to Macy's and you bought yourself a new outfit. That's not being frugal. It's not being frugal. I watched a gal meal prep the other day, and then she went to Target and then complained because even though she got a really cute new workout outfit to go to the gym, that she wasn't actually saving any money, because even though she was making all of her meals and she had all these Tupperware containers and they stacked high in her fridge, she had a whole week's worth of meals. She was like, well, I can't figure out why I'm not saving any money to get out of debt, because I can't pay my credit card if I went and did that thing at Target. That's why. The frugal thing you did no longer count. It no longer counts. Because the frugal thing you did isn't really frugal. Because you did something else to counteract that. I've done it. I have been there in that club. I have been the head member of that club in my 20s. Head member of that club. Hey, I did that, but then I went and spent money there. Don't do it. Stop doing it. Realizing where the frugality is no longer saving you money, and then it's no longer going to help you get out of debt. And this is the top one. If you've made it this far, leave me a heart emoji, a blue heart emoji, little blue heart. I know my heart's terrible looking, but leave me a blue heart. this is number one. And this is so important to me that I tell you this. It is so important. This is going to save my year in 2025. So if you do not have enough income, because let's face it, the world's expensive, and it didn't take you many tries to swipe that card to get out of debt or to type it in on the computer. I'm going to get all this stuff on Amazon. And that trip I took at Disneyland cost me $8,000. Whoops. Doesn't take much to get in debt. It's going to be 5 times harder to get yourself out of that debt. And then you realize, why did I spend this money in the first place? Why did I get in debt? How did I get there? You're going to have to decide those things. You're going to have to delegate with the person in your mirror and say, I'm done crying in the shower today because I got my statement. I got my statement in the mail from the credit card company, and now they want double the minimum payment because my credit card is so high and I'm not paying it off fast enough. And I'm looking at the person in my mirror and I say to myself, Amanda, stop it. I've been there. I'm not there now. I don't have spending problems now because I don't do those things. I don't go out and do those things. How many times out of 10 do you actually see me on this channel say I've got Happy Mail that I purchased, or I went on Etsy and I spent a bunch of money, or I went to Target today. Yeah, you saw a $1 Walmart haul. Woohoo! $1 Walmart haul. And I got a few things because the frugality matched what I was doing. But this is the biggest problem for me. And it may be your problem too, because I can tell you, there are so many people in this boat. Number 3 is you're not making enough money. You're just not making it. Just not making it. It's not happening. So one thing I realized over the last few years of being on YouTube is I've let people get in my head. You see, Amanda, get an hourly job. If you get that hourly job, it's going to pan out, you see, because that's all people think. But see, the truth is I was only bringing in $1,600, $1,800 a month. If I worked 40 hours, you guys saw me bust my tail. If you've been here long enough, working at Pizza Hut. I worked so many hours there that I lived there. I was living there. I was literally living there. I was working 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hour days. Of course I was able to fund my apartment, and my husband worked there too. I recruited him as the driver because I didn't have one. And then he was there 5-6 days a week, 8, 9, 10 hour days. We were already driving for a living anyway. So what was the difference? This was a for sure thing, right? But the truth is that we were not able to make enough to stay in our apartment with those hourly jobs. So we went back to gig working, and that is how we survived. That's how we made it, was the gig working. So I let everybody get in my head in 2024. Get that job, Amanda, get it. Wasn't enough. Couldn't even flip my own bills, let alone pay off my debt. So I'm back to driving. I love driving because I'm my own boss. I don't have to be called stupid. I don't have to be shamed. I don't have to sit here and learn something new that no longer will apply to the things that I'm doing in my job. I don't have to be told that my customer service this, my customer service that. I don't have to be treated like crap because I hardly see anybody in this car. I'm food delivery now. That's all I do. Before I was doing Uber and Lyft, and I had to talk to some people, but I will tell you 90% of the people that got in this car, they were on the phone. They were on the phone. And I can make more money every single day that I work because I realize something. I am not chained to an hourly wage. Sure, some days suck. Sure, some days suck. And on those 2 days, one of them might be typical Tuesday. Typical Tuesday. One of them, I'm going to be working actually 2 days a week in a row that we will be taking off for gig working, will now apply to an hourly job. Because even though I couldn't make it at an hourly job, and now I have 2 drivers because we're parked next to we're next to Paula. We're next to the Impala that my husband drives for a living. I now can take that hourly job and I can say, you know what? Now I get to use this as the side hustle. This is my side hustle while I full-time hustle. And with that side hustle, because I don't make enough money to get myself out of debt regularly, I'm going to use that side hustle to pay my debt off and to fund a bunch of different envelopes. Because the time is now. If I wait any longer, it's likely that my cost of living will raise so high in this new world that we're going to see that being in debt and paying off that debt will become impossible. It will become impossible no matter how frugal I am. My husband has some side things that he's working on to get some extra money on those days that we will be taking off from driving. Now, the shifts I'm going to be working can range anywhere between 5 to 8 hours. So even though, and this also is a tip-based job, I can get tips at this job, so that's helpful. If I'm working 5 hours, I'm going to go work the other 3 hours doing DoorDash. And those 3 hours on those 2 days will now become extra money that goes towards debt. If I'm working 6 hours, same thing. I'm going to go work a couple hours of DoorDash. My husband said that he'd be willing to go out and do a little DoorDash on those days too, maybe for 2-3 hours, if he's not working his little side hustle, where he is going to be yet again revamping some furniture and reselling it. Furniture is really hard to find in our area, especially good older furniture, because a lot of the stuff you get in the store today is crap. It's plywood. But the truth is that between all of the hustles that we're doing, the hourly job, the refinishing furniture, I'm going to try to resell some things on Marketplace. I'm going to do a little bit of DoorDash on the 2 days I am going to be taking off from full-time driving, and I'm going to add that into my debt and into envelopes, because the truth is I don't make enough. That's a part of my list. I'm the third one on the list. You see, I am the third one on the list. Frugality goes a long way, but if you are unable to make it a part of the equation, look at your debt journey. Look at your own debt journey. Don't give up. It's not a time to give up. You see, it's time to sit back. Look at your person in your mirror, my mirror, and say, what is not working? What is it that is actually not working? Be honest with yourself. Right? I'm going to be honest with myself. What is really not working, so I can get to the real, what is really going to work? And if you have to get a side hustle, if you have to take your time to get on DoorDash, Uber, if you have to get on to Spark, maybe there's a wait list. Maybe you go find something else. Maybe you say, on my 2 days off, I'm going to go get a second job. I have a friend who got out of debt because she bartended on the days off she had. She had weekends off. She got off at 2 o'clock on Friday, and she would go bartend Friday night, Saturday night, 2 good nights bartending, and then on Sunday would be kind of a sloppy Sunday. But she would have brunch at her work, and they would make a lot of tips doing brunch. So sometimes it's not a matter of figuring out necessarily what you need to do. It's how you're going to do it. It's how you're going to better your situation, because you can do it. I believe in you. You watch me every day. A lot of you guys believe in me. And sometimes I'm like, how do you believe in me? Because I'm not getting it. It's not a part of my piece of paper. It's not a part of my plan. It didn't work. It didn't happen that way. It's black and white, and it's either is or is not going to happen. And there's no gray area. The truth is that I have no choice. The gray area has to be there. I have to try to make it happen. So you can do it. I believe in you. Figure out which category you're in and fix it. Fix one of the 3 categories. And I will see you guys in the next one. But as always, you can only do what you can with what you got, because it's really all you have to work with. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.